It's always fascinating for me to see characters that are two different personalities, a man with a secret identity. Where do you begin building Ethan?
Well, you start with the script. It's not like my invention. I end up taking over the character and stuff and finding language that makes sense and maybe twisting some scenes around because of your take on it. But I start with the script, you know, a man who's involved in a thing that he's probably done 100 times, and at the end of it, when you think he's just tired, it's more than that. Tired of chasing somebody, it's more than that. There's a medical situation. And as an asset, he's no longer needed and retired. And where does he go? Well, he goes to where you usually go. You go to a family that is in great dysfunction, one that he left, so to speak. And he wants to integrate himself back in, and it's not that simple, nor should it be.
Vivi's an interesting character in this because she sort of exists. You're not sure if she's a demon or an angel. Is that fair?
Yeah, there's something that really attracts, I guess in general, there's something that really attracts me to that question in characters. If you don't know if they're malicious or benevolent, if you have to ask yourself that question, especially after a couple hours of getting to know that character, then there's something about them I like. It's a general rule of thumb. Vivi is no exception. Vivi's enigmatic, yes, but also she's this kind of, she exists in another world. She kind of has her own set of rules. She's not bound to or restricted by the physical laws that all the rest of us seem to be inhibited by. She kind of has a heightened sense of reality, and you get this impression that she has made the world for herself. She's kind of created this, or fulfilled this niche role that we didn't even know there was a demand for. But yet, you know, you get this impression she's found it and created it.
So this is kind of a departure for you. I was surprised by the style.
Big departure for me. I mean, I wanted to tip my cap to Frankenheimer and just make a movie that felt like it was of a different era. I shot it with anamorphic, uncorrected lenses that are sort of relics from the 1970s, and I really wanted it to be gritty and in camera and not reliant upon CG, and I thought that would play into the strengths of Kevin Costner and who he is as a movie star, so it's a big departure for me.
Plot-wise, we've seen you sort of mix drama and action in the past, but this one feels very stark and very real.
That was the intention. I mean, at the end of the day, it's funny because you feel like, oh, it's going to be a big action movie, and there's certainly an action component, and there's some laughs in there too, but it's really a character piece. I mean, it's Kevin Costner in every scene in the movie, and it's a guy learning what matters most and his journey home, and becoming a better father and a better human through unlikely relationships with the Jules character, the Meatot character, the Guido character, as he struggles to find his footing with his daughter. And yeah, I'm very proud of that story and that character and the dimensionality of the picture.
It's interesting because he's sort of he's a very realistic character who has this bigger-than-life job. And it almost seems like the hitman assassin side of things could serve as a metaphor for anybody's job trying to connect with their family.
I know that since he's having a difficult time connecting, not sure if he ever is with them, not sure if he's ever going to let him back in, and he's hit by the devil, so to speak, in Amber Heard, who is a fringe part of the CIA, and says if you kill some people, it can be worth this much money to you, and if it's worth that much money to you, knowing you're going to die, why not give it to your family? And that's really almost enough for him. But so he kind of does it between the raindrops of trying to reconnect.
It's interesting, too, because Kevin Costner's Ethan sort of walks a line between a movie life as a hitman government agent and just a regular father. And she seems to be the pinnacle of the fantasy side of things.
Yeah, I think that's an important aspect to what she is in terms of the role she plays in the broader picture. She is supposed to embody the other side, the dark side, and everything that he's fighting to overcome, pull away from, to move away from. He's really struggling with the duality of his life and the two opposing the two opposing natures of his existence. One being the family man who longs to have a real connection, ultimately the fundamental connection all humans strive to have with one another. And on the other side, there's this ephemeral, fast-paced, sexy, seductive underworld that is almost unreal, that exists for the immediate, for the thrill. It's Vivi represents that. She is that. She embodies that, and she tries her best to lure him over to the dark side. I mean, she holds that apple out for him, in a very strong way, and I like that because she has to be just as strong as his will is in order to provide any resistance for him to overcome.
Well, I meant to make it that the audience would contemplate, is she real? You know, almost in sort of a Bruce Willis Sixth Sense capacity, where she very rarely interacts with anyone but Kevin Costner's character. And she's so stylish and has so much panache, and she's always showing up and expressing herself differently, and just sort of in these James Bond sort of scenarios. And he's in this decidedly grounded film that I wanted people to scratch their heads and almost wonder if she was real, or just sort of an extension of the consciousness of what this character needed to drive him home. And I'm delighted that you brought that up, because that's certainly the intention. And she's got the sort of dimensionality and certainly the looks to pull that off. And I found as I challenged her more and more, she had the intellectual firepower to pull it off. She's a very well-read young lady, and you know, she can shoot a gun, she can drive a car, she can do things that you wouldn't expect coming out of, you know, a human being that's that beautiful. Because sometimes when people are beautiful, they rely on their beauty to get them out of tough spots in life, and they never really develop. And I'm so happy to report that that's not Amber Heard.